Good morning. Good morning. It is fucking cold. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? Good, I hope. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Jennifer Holly. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk. It is Monday. I think it's February 22nd, I think. I was at a soccer tournament. Hi, April. I was at a soccer tournament all weekend with Charlie, which is just lovely. And we got to spend so much time together, which was so great. It's so nice to just get one-on-one time with her because I feel like she got it the most as a baby, but she gets it the least as a child. So anyway, it was really nice to spend time with her this weekend and watch her play soccer and focus on her and just love on her and feed her and do the whole thing. And I just really love that kid and just heard this tragic story about this Vietnamese mother who lived in a suburb of Houston. I don't know if you guys heard this story out of Texas, but this mother of 3, and one of her daughter's names is Olivia, just like mine. And long story short, their power went out and they put on the fireplace and literally the house caught on fire. And this woman's 3 children and her mother died in the house fire. And they pulled her out. They pulled her out of the house. The firefighters did. Why would you pull a mother out of the house where her children have perished? Leave me in the house and let me die of smoke inhalation. I do not want to live on a planet without my children. I don't want to live in a magical kingdom. I don't want to live in the clouds. I don't want to live in a box with a fox. I don't want to live without my children. Okay? So I told Michael, if that, God forbid, 1,000 times ever happened to us, leave me in the house. Do not pull me out. Don't ever pull me out. Anyway, it was honestly fucking traumatic just to read the story. I have to be honest with you. The fire department said they had to physically restrain her from going back in the house. I bet they needed 10 men, the strength of 10 men to stop that mother from going back into the house to get her children. Oh, I'm well aware that they probably had to restrain her. Anyway, enough sadness. It about killed me reading that story. I really wish people wouldn't put those stories out. Also, do you guys want to talk about this like severe wrinkle in my face right there? It's like so permanently creased that unless I fill it with fillers, it's just going to be there forever. And it's from sleeping like that. Anyway. Oh, Lord, have mercy. So, I don't know. Anyway, okay. I want to talk to you guys about something okay. So there's a situation with my son where he is feeling like left out in school, in class. And it has been very hard for me to parent him through this. I'm going to be honest, because it is my instinct to want to defend and protect and, I don't know, fight a 12-year-old. I don't know, right? So I've been really trying to talk to him about his behavior and what he has contributed, if anything, to the reason why some of these kids don't want to play with him. And what he has been able to admit is that he has been very annoying. He interrupts them. He can be very sarcastic. And these kids don't like it. They're not vibing with that, right? So he has now asked if he can change classes, and also asked if he could change schools. And the very difficult lesson that I have had to teach my son is, if the problem is you and your behavior, then wherever you go, there you are. You can't run from your behavior. If you don't recognize patterns and work hard to break them, instead of just saying, that's just how I am, you'll be changing metaphorical classes for the rest of your life. Sometimes the work we have to do to make our situation more comfortable, more enjoyable, more likable, more whatever, is on ourselves. Because it is very sad that my son is uncomfortable in his class and wishes that he could change classes. But until he does some work on his own behavior, he will end up with the exact same problem in the next class or in the next school. And let me tell you the other thing. As raising a son, I have to really do the work with him. Otherwise, there is going to be some girl crying over my dusty ass son who says things to her like, whatever, that's just how I am. And I cannot stand when grown men shit on women or hide behind, I'm just not good at relationships, and they don't do anything to fix things or work on themselves. It's all just, that's just how I am. Everywhere you go, there you are. And if we don't teach our children this now, right? You can change classes. I want to make life easy for you. But the truth is, if the max that you are right now moves into the other class, you're going to have the same problems, because the problem is you. It's not them. So then he went to my husband. And of course he did, because he didn't get the answer he wanted from me. He went to my husband. So Michael said to me this morning on the way to take the dog to daycare and pick up our coffee, Max, came to me and he wants to change classes. Do you think, maybe we should talk to... I said, absolutely not. And I've already had this conversation with Max. And the truth is that until Max gets honest about his behavior and decides he doesn't want to behave that way anymore, the problem will continue to be him. And we will have the same issue with kids finding him annoying and not wanting to play with him in the other class. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my eye on a few kids that I'm like, okay, you can extend grace now. Like, you're not here to, God did not put you on this earth to punish my son. So don't get it twisted. Like I told the school, this is your ship and I'm going to let you guys navigate it. But if it continues week after week, I'm coming back. And if I do, I'm the captain now. Because I believe in grace, and as believers in God, we believe in grace and forgiveness. And I would like to think that that is what we are all striving for. So if Max is annoying or has said things that are condescending or sarcastic, he deserves to feel the ramifications of that. Yes, you need to feel the ramifications of that. You don't get to just say things, hurtful things to people or make jokes about people. There's always truth in jest. No one likes to be the brunt of your jokes, and I don't send you to school to be the class clown. You go to school to learn, and we go to a wonderful school. So, I'm going to see how things plan out, but I thought this was, he knows that I have his back, but at the same time, he knows I will hold him accountable. You are responsible for your behavior, and you don't get to decide how people react to the way you treat them. If you want to make jokes about people and you want to be annoying and they're going to turn around and be like, I don't think you're funny and you're annoying, that's a very real possibility. And nobody wants to see their kid left out, and nobody wants to see their kid hurting. Believe me, I definitely don't. Y'all know my heart. I definitely don't want, and my son? What? My son? Oh God, no. Not my son. No. But I am not going to bail him out of this. I am not going to move his classes. I'm definitely not moving his school. Like, no, you got to learn that if you act out against kids, they're going to go, yeah, I don't like this. You have to be accountable. So what I'm hoping is that Max can learn to be accountable and these kids can learn grace, and we can kind of get back to whatever, because he's feeling really isolated and really left out, and it makes me very sad. And you know, I try really hard to raise my kids to be inclusive and forgiving, but I have to remind Max, you don't go to school to entertain. You're not Eddie Murphy. This is not a Netflix comedy special. You go to school to learn. So when you're at school, I need you to focus on your education and don't be problematic for the teacher. She's got enough shit to deal with. And, you know, he, of course, thought that mommy was going to acquiesce and save the day and go to the school and change his class and make it easy. And guess what? I'm not, because I know that Max is a straight A student. I know that there are no learning disabilities that have gone unnoticed. I also taught special education for years, so I would like to think, although maybe not, that if there was any learning issues going on that I would know them or spot them, but that's not the issue. The issue is that Max thinks he is like Mr. Funny Guy. And I get that he wants to entertain and everybody wants to be funny, sure, but there's a time and place. School isn't it. Do it in play dates. Do it at recess. Not interrupting the teacher, not interrupting the kids, not being condescending to your classmates, not making fun of the girls. I know puberty's hard and all of that, but if kids are telling you you're being annoying, then maybe you're being annoying. And instead of getting your feelings hurt and looking at the kids, maybe you should look at yourself and go, what is it that I'm doing every time they call me annoying? What am I doing? So long story short, I am not going to bail him out, because if I do bail him out, he will become a 20-something-year-old dating your daughter. And when she says, I don't like the way you make me feel, he'll say, that's just how I am. And I can't have that. Oh, no. I cannot have that. I absolutely cannot have a girl crying over my son because he's incapable of acknowledging his behavior or responsibility in something. So I know my kids don't like to be coffee talked, and they always tell me, don't coffee talk me. Well, I'm sorry, you're going to get it today, because if everybody, I don't expect Max to act like an adult, but he is 12 years old and he knows self-control. And if he's acting out in class and he's interrupting and he's being annoying, then he's being annoying and he needs to stop. So I just want you to know that it is not easy. I just would like to remind you that raising children while thinking about who they will be as adults is emotionally taxing, because you are trying to raise a child, right? They're children, but you also have to think, how I'm teaching him now gonna affect him when he's 17 and 22 and 25 and 40? Because it is so hard. It is so hard. Accountability is hard. Ownership is hard. Understanding that when someone says you're annoying, you might be annoying is hard when you are 12. It is hard when you are 44. It's hard. This whole thing is so hard. So I'm working on it, because when I see grown men say things like, that's just how I am, I want to, I'm sorry, what? Anyway, me and my wrinkle are going to work. But I love you guys very much, and I want you to know that it is very hard to think about all of these things. It is very hard to be mindful of how you are parenting your children as they're becoming teenagers, and they don't want you to hold them accountable for anything, and they think you're the enemy, and in the same time they want you to have their back, and sometimes you can't have their back because they're wrong, and when they are, and you still want to have their back, but you can't. It's like, whew. And then the other parent is like, but maybe we should just, and you're like, no, see, what you're not going to do, Mr. That's just how I am, is turn my son into a no, because guess what? I was a train wreck in my 20s. A train wreck in my 20s. Okay? And the amount of people I have to block on Instagram every day is like sinful. It's like craziness. Oof, chile. I was a train wreck. And people finally, like everybody who tried to correct me or tell me how I was, I cut them out of my life. The second people were like, hey, you're not a good person because you do this, I was like, you're out. I didn't want any accountability. I didn't want anybody to tell me anything. I didn't want to hear shit about myself. Now I have so much self-awareness that some days I don't even want to be in the same room with myself, because I know that sometimes I can be a piece of shit. So, with all of that being said, just a reminder that if you are the problem, no matter where you go, there you are. So if you don't work on yourself and you don't own it, it is going to be extremely problematic for you into your adulthood. Take it from someone who knows. I love you guys very much. I love you. That's why we have these conversations. I hope you'll share this video because it may help other parents who are dealing with the same thing. I love you. Have a great, great day.